Hello and welcome to Every Persona Explained, where we take a look at the origin and representation of every persona. I'm your host Winwright, and today we're taking a look at Sandman. Sandman is a character from Germanic and Scandinavian folklore. He is a being who carries a sack full of magic sand and goes around at night, sprinkling that sand in people's eyes, causing them to fall asleep. He is partially an explanation for rheum, that gunk that you wipe out of your eyes in the morning. Rheum is a combination of mucus, dead skin, and dirt that works its way out of your eyes, nose, and or mouth during sleep. Gross. His origins are kinda just unknown. There is a German saying from the 18th century, Der Sandman kommt, or the Sandman is coming, which referred to people who looked sleepy or drowsy, especially children. This makes me think that he probably existed in some form before this, but it seems this character lacked any documented stories about him. That is, until the 19th century. In 1816, a German man with a name that's too long, Ernst Theodor Amadeus Hoffmann, published a short story called Der Sandman, which confusingly isn't actually about the folkloric Sandman character. Sandman is mentioned as a sort of nursery rhyme or fairy tale the POV character learns about as a child, and associates with a man named Coppelius, a lawyer and alchemist who is terrifying and also might just straight up be a murderer. Yeah, Hoffman's story is actually a horror story and not actually about the Sandman folklore character. It is a pretty good story though, here's some links. We would later get a story that's closer to what we imagine the Sandman as. That is less Stephen King and more Hans Christian Andersen, in 1841 by the famous fairy tale author Hans Christian Andersen. Yes, the author of Little Mermaid, The Snow Queen, and The Emperor's New Clothes wrote a story about the Sandman. The story is titled, not even gonna try that one, and tells the story of the Sandman, who is named that, and visits a young boy every night and tells him stories. However, as this is a Hans Christian Andersen story, it's got a dark twist in it. He also talks about his brother, also named that because clarity is stupid, who also comes to visit people but only once, and he takes them away on his horse. It's Death, his brother is Death, and he's talking to a child. Hans, are you okay? Do you need to talk? The Sandman has also appeared in so many other mediums. Comics, movies, music, at least one video game. The two most popular appearances, which I'm judging based on how much they got in the way while trying to research this character, are the graphic novel The Sandman by Neil Gaiman and the song Enter Sandman by Metallica, which, if you're wondering, yes, has been stuck in my head since I started researching this. And that's Sandman. So how's he represented in a game? All of the traditional depictions I found show him as just like a guy with a big bag, which is mostly what's going on here. The obvious difference is the crescent moon head, which isn't attested to in any of the stories I found, but I feel like it fits the vibe, so it gets my approval. Also, looking at his shoes, or maybe the feet of his onesie, the way that they're tipped almost gives a fairy or fae vibe. While never explicitly stated to be fae, I can see it. Sandman is in the Fortune Arcana and Reload, Strength in the 4s and Q1, Magician in the 5s, and Devil in Q2. Fortune has meanings of change and cycles, so sleep cycles fit into that fairly well. Even inverted, it can mean a lack of control, like when you get super sleepy and can't stay awake. Devil also works with its meanings of powerlessness, depression, and hopelessness. It's not uncommon for people who are affected by these things to sleep a lot, or just stay in bed for extended periods. This shows a potentially darker side of Sandman, or maybe his brother. When inverted, Magician can mean manipulation, which I think you could argue fits, but Strength I feel doesn't fit at all. Maybe with his inverted meaning of low energy? Through most of his appearances, he has wind moves, which is fine, I guess, but in Reload in the 4s, he has moves that cause confusion. I don't understand this, because the move Dormina, literally the go-to-sleep move, was introduced back in P1, so it was already there. Why add him and omit it? Thankfully somebody realized how dumb this was and added it to his skill set in P5. His trait is Foul Odor, which mechanically works with Dormina, but doesn't match flavor-wise. As for his items, in P5 he can drop the Iron Sand item, referencing, sand. And one of his negotiation items is the skill card for Dormina. Royal adds the item Sleep Vial S to this pool, which is an item that can put enemies to sleep. A good addition. When putting the electric chair in P5, he gives a skill card for Sleep Boost. In Royal, it's instead the card for Dormina again, or the card for Lullaby, which I just learned the Japanese name is apparently just Sleep Song written katakana, and I find that humorous. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty good representation, but I can't help but think he looks like one of those big-headed mascot characters outside of a department store. Well, we can add this one to the list of characters I thought would be easy to research and then find not a whole lot of on. Eventually I'm going to stop thinking that. I do feel like Sandman is a odd choice for Persona, because while he is, I guess, technically a nursery rhyme, I've felt he's always had a different feel to other nursery rhymes. Like, he doesn't have like a moral to his story or something. He's kind of just, why do I fall asleep? Oh, well, I could try to explain the complex mechanics of having to sleep to let your body rest and recover and stuff. Or I could just say, it's a fairy. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Let me know who you want to see next time in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Every Persona Explained.